Hello, everybody. Here we are, BTS Saturday, starting off with now knowing that there is one, a commencement speech called Dear Class of 2020. I was told that it goes very well with the performance that we did last week, so I wanted to hop to it this week. Let's check it out. YouTube Originals.
Hello, we are BTS. And this is RM. Dear Class of 2020, it's been a strange year so far, but you made it. Today, we might not have flowers, and we might not have graduation caps. What we do have is possibly the most special graduation ceremony in history. Never before have so many gathered to celebrate a graduating class for their achievements and their dreams. You could be watching us from your bed or from your living room, alone or with somebody. Wherever you are, you will all soon be breaking out of one world to soar into another. 10 years ago, it snowed really hard on the day of my middle school graduation. I remember that day clearly because I took a picture with my friends and kept it as my messenger profile for the rest of my school years. On that day, I was just a boy who had closed just one chapter, ready to pen another. And I remember that feeling. It's really thrilling and breathtaking. It was a moment I felt most like me, myself, a feeling I wanted to hold on to forever. So, as a fellow individual in his 20s, all the way from Seoul, Korea, I want to say congratulations. We're very excited for what lies ahead of you. Regardless of where or how far you are, we hope our stories today can give you some sort of comfort, hope, and maybe an even bit of inspiration.
네, 안녕하세요. 방탄소년단 정국입니다. 여러분, 졸업 축하드립니다. 남준이 형과는 다르게 제 졸업 사진은 유튜브 방탄밤에 기록되어 있습니다.
We covered that.
고등학교 시작과 끝에는 항상 멤버들이 있었고요. 언제 이렇게 다 커서 졸업을 하게 됐냐며 형들이 옆에서 막 축하해주고 졸업식 마치고 다 같이 짜장면을 먹었던 기억이 있습니다. 그런데 저도 최근에 영상을 한번 봤는데 이런 생각이 들더라고요. 정말 저 아이가 커서 내가 된 걸까? 남준이 형은 졸업식장의 소년이 형 자신인 것 같다고 했는데 저는 좀 다르게 먼 길을 걸어온 것 같습니다. 끊임없이 걸어온 것 같은데 뭐 그럼에도 항상 새롭게 배워나가는 게 있더라고요. 그래서 지금의 저는 나를 믿고 멤버들을 믿고 세상을 믿으면서 지금 이 자리에 멤버들과 함께 서 있습니다. 그러니까 여러분들도 앞으로 여러분들을 위해서 한 걸음씩 나아가고 끊임없이 달려가셨으면 좋겠습니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 방탄소년단 진입니다. 저는 조금 다른 졸업식을 기억합니다. 20살 무렵 저는 아직 데뷔도 하지 않았고 이제 막 대학 입학을 앞둔 평범한 졸업생이었습니다. 그때 저는 성인이 되는 것이 두려웠어요. 낯선 세상으로 나아가는 것이 겁나서 말도 행동도 모든 게 조심스러웠고요. 때로는 앞서가는 친구들이 신경 쓰이고 조급한 마음이 들 때도 있었습니다. 남들의 걸음에 맞추려 애를 써보기도 했지만 숨이 가빴고 곧 그것은 저의 속도가 아니라는 걸 깨달았습니다. 하지만 그때마다 저를 지탱해 준 건 천천히 가자는 저 스스로의 다짐이었습니다. 느려도 나만의 속도로 걷자고 선택한 거죠. 그래서 저는 걸음이 느린 대신 남들보다 시간을 조금 더 들이는 습관을 갖게 됐습니다. 춤 연습을 할 때도 멤버들보다 며칠 앞서 준비를 시작하곤 하죠. 여러분도 새롭게 시작해야 한다는 부담감에 또 낯선 환경과 마주하며 어디로 가야 할 줄 모르겠다면 조급해하지 말고 잠시 멈추어 보세요. 어쩌면 지금 이 순간은 우리에게 주어진 기회일지도 모르겠습니다. 여유를 갖고 느려도 한 걸음 한 걸음 성실히 내딛는다면 예전에 몰랐던 소중한 것들이 보일 겁니다. 그것들이 여러분에게 말을 걸어올지도 모릅니다.
안녕하세요. 슈가입니다. 요즘 저는 한참 달리다가 넘어진 것 같은 그런 기분입니다. 그리고 다시 일어나 주위를 둘러보니 주변엔 아무것도 없고 섬 안에 갇혀버린 것만 같습니다. 멋진 매듭도 새로운 시작도 못하고 많이 답답해하고 있을 여러분들 모두 겁내거나 불안해하지 않으셨으면 좋겠습니다. 시작과 끝과 시작은 연결되어 있으니까요. 섬이기 때문에 할 수 있는 것들도 있습니다. 오로지 나 자신에 집중하는 것, 그리고 나 자신의 틀을 깨보는 겁니다. 한없이 초라하고 작게만 느껴지던 한 사람이 얼마나 큰 꿈을 꾸고 또 얼마나 큰 그림을 그리고 그 한계 없는 가능성에 한 발짝씩 다가가고 있을지 우리가 다시 만나게 될 때 꼭 보여주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 그러기 위해서는 통제 불가능한 것에서 손을 떼고 통제 가능한 것부터 손을 대셨으면 합니다. 저도 그리고 여러분들도 앞으로 살아가면서 수도 없이 통제 불가능한 상황에 놓여질 것입니다. 우리가 유일하게 통제할 수 있는 건 우리 자신뿐입니다. 통제 가능한 것부터 시작해보면 어떨까요? 여러분들의 가능성은 무한합니다. 저도 방탄소년단이 될 줄 꿈에도 몰랐습니다. 감사합니다.
Someone might
여러분
be reading
안녕하세요.
some
지민입니다. 먼저
Marcus
졸업을
Aurelius.
진심으로 축하드립니다. 그런데 사실은 축하보다는 걱정이 앞서는 것 같아요. 어디 아프지는 않은지, 혹시 많이 힘든 건 아닌지, 그리고 모든 게 엉망이 되어버린 것 같은 지금 이 시간을 잘 견디고 있는 건지, 또 요즘 여러분들의 몸과 마음이 괜찮은지 걱정이 많이 됩니다. 모두들 잘 지내고 계셨으면 좋겠지만 만약 조금이라도 괜찮지 않다면 저희가 온 마음을 다해 위로해드리고 싶습니다. 윤기 형이 섬 속에 갇힌 것 같다고 이야기했지만 그래도 절대 포기하시지는 않았으면 좋겠습니다. 여기 한국이라는 나라 그리고 서울이라는 도시에 나를 이해해주는 누군가가 있다는 점을 꼭 기억해 주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 우리 모두 각자 다른 환경에 살고 있고 다른 상황에 처해 있지만 적어도 이 순간만큼은 우리 다 같이 괜찮다라고 서로 위로해 주었으면 좋겠습니다.
안녕하세요.
I don't know how I'm gonna do the artist highlighted of Jimin without crying like 5 billion times.
여러분들의 희망 제이홉입니다. 저도 여러분들과 다르지 않습니다. 노래를 만들고 춤을 추다 보면 막다른 골목에 다다를 때가 있죠. 머릿속이 새하얗게 변해서 더 이상 앞으로 나가기 어려워지기도 하고요. 작업을 하면서 수없이 겪는 일입니다. 그럴 때 그래도 딱 한 번만 더 라는 생각이 저를 일으켜 세울 때가 많습니다. 나 자신을 한번 믿어보는 거죠. 완벽하지 않아도 처음보단 두 번째, 두 번째보단 세 번째 더 나아지는 것을 보며 주저앉지 않기를 잘했다고 생각하게 됩니다. 여러분도 지금의 상황이든 아님 전공이나 직업이든 내가 선택한 길로 나아가다 보면 과연 그게 올바른 선택이었는지 내가 잘하고 있는지 이대로 가면 실패하는 건 아닌지 끊임없이 의심이 들곤 할 겁니다. 그럴 땐 꼭 기억하세요. 내 인생을 이끄는 것은 바로 나 자신이란 것을요. 그리고 주문을 외우는 겁니다. 할 수 있어. You got it. 나는 잘 할 수 있어. 누구보다 나는 잘 해낼 거야. 바로 이렇게요.
안녕하세요. 뷰입니다. 아주 특별한 날 졸업을 축하합니다. 많은 시간이 지나 오늘을 되돌아보면 어떤 기억으로 남을까요? 지금 모두가 쉽지 않은 현실과 싸우고 있지만 여러분들도 사진
What
한
a
장,
time.
글 한 줄 남기며 이 순간을 기억해보면 좋겠습니다. 그때는 이랬지, 2020년 6월은 이랬지, 그리고 현재의 모습에 비추어 다시 바라보는 거죠. 사실 저는 노래와 춤의 재능을 타고나지도 않았고 끈기가 있는 편도 아니었습니다. 사실 친구들보다 부족했고 시작도 늦었지만 춤추고 노래하는 즐거움에 푹 빠지게 됐었죠. 그 즐거움은 저를 꾸준히 노력하게 했고요. 그렇게 이 자리까지 왔습니다. 지금 졸업을 앞두고 앞으로 무엇을 해야 할지 잘 보이지 않아 힘든 분들이 있다면 한번 여러분의 진심에 기대어 보세요. 지금은 조금 힘들어도 그 끝자락 어딘가엔 기회와 행운이 기다리고 있지 않을까요? 저는 그렇게 믿고 있습니다. 그런 의미에서 저는 오늘을 기억해 두겠습니다. 오늘 비록 저의 졸업식은 아니지만 많은 시간이 지나 이 날을 좋은 기억으로 떠올릴 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다. 그리고 언젠가 여러분의 이야기도 들을 수 있기를 바랍니다.
Dear class of 2020, I hope our stories reach you all today. To be really, really frank, we still feel very unsure and unsettled as we speak, just like that day we left the school gates for the last time on graduation day. Some say we have achieved so many things, but we stand no different from any other youth in their 20s. Our graduation caps still pressed to our heads and awkwardly peering into the face of reality. The recent unforeseen events completely changed our plans, and the sense of loss and anxiety we felt then are still with us today. The fear of an obscure future as our daily lives turn upside down is a moment of realization of the self, the realization of what makes me a true me, myself. As just musicians, we are pulling ourselves together by making music. We write songs, we produce, and we practice as we think about the people we love. And it connects to the world during such difficult times. And with music, we hope we can bring you smiles and courage again. And V just mentioned memos and the photographs. For us, our way of remembering and communicating is to make music. For you, it could be anything. In our music and in our hearts and in the time that we break out of ourselves, we're alone, but also together. We may be seeing each other through just a camera and this small screen, but I know your future will bloom to something much bigger and magnificent. Graduates, friends, family, faculty, today, you stand with us the largest graduating class in history.
Whoa.
여러분의 졸업을 진심으로 축하드립니다.
Congratulations, class of 2020!
Did he actually get hit? Wait, let's go back. I want to see if he actually got hit. He kind of did get clipped a little bit. Oh, okay, that's amazing. You know, I love this. This is actually a really cool way to start out 2025 in a lot of senses. This is 5 years. And, you know, it's kind of funny because there's a couple of things that I think have happened very frequently in my life that I actually think about a lot, because it always makes me say, like, why did I think that in a lot of senses? You know, and it's videos like this that kind of make me think back, and I'm like, you know what? I really actually just had a whole different idea and way of thinking throughout my years, obviously. And I think one of the most interesting things is that for me, I feel like every single time I started something new, I was sure that that was the theme. And no matter what it was, oh, I'm sure that ballroom will be the thing that gets me to the next level. Oh, I'm sure that, you know, playing guitar will be the thing that takes me to the next level. I'm sure that, you know, learning how to sing is going to be the thing that takes me, you know, I was so sure. And, you know, so many of these decisions, I had that really solid confidence in the things that I did. The truth is that I feel like when 2020 hit, I remember not feeling so sure for the first time in anything that I did. I remember I was starting to kind of come to a place with my work that I was at the time that made it feel really uncertain. That place was ever changing. Every day we had to learn something new, a new responsibility was added. It was an actual mess. We really truly just never had a day where our whole schedule and workflow just didn't get flipped on its head because they decided that we were going to do something new every single day. And I knew that it was not going anywhere. And this is not really something that I had really have said before, but like I remember just getting to the point where I realized I hit the glass ceiling there. And I remember when I decided to quit. And it's actually kind of funny. We're far enough away now from this that I can actually say it. But the funny thing was, me and one of my best friends, we worked together. In fact, for the last little bit, he was my manager. And the funny thing was, I went up to him, who he recently just had, not only just got married, but I think had a kid on the way, or they had already had a kid. And I remember telling him, I was like, dude, we got to leave this place. We got to get out of here. And I remember he was like, where am I going to go? I have a family to feed. I have a family to take care of. I was like, I don't know, but this place isn't it, dude. We can't. And I was like, we got to find a way to get out of here. We got to find, something else than this. We are going to eventually just end up getting let go. And then we're going to be stuck with the bag in our hands. I was like, we have to figure something else out. And so I was like, let's just pick a date and see what happens. And I remember we picked May 20th. And he's like, oh, well, that's okay, whatever. That's fine, I guess. We can set a date and just decide. And then I remember he got way more comfortable with the idea of leaving than I did for a hot minute. And one of the things that we did is that because we had become such good friends, when we'd take a break, we'd go for a walk around our building, around our premises, because it was a fairly large place to work. And I remember one of the things that was so crazy, we went for a walk, and he came up to me and he said, dude, I think I can make May 20th work. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, my sister said that she could get me a job somewhere else that pays more money and has better hours. And I was like, oh, at that point, I actually was thinking of just staying. But as soon as he said that, I just remember I had this like feeling, this rush of just like, take it, leave now. And I thought to myself, I got to. So we did. We ended up leaving, and we both put in our 2 weeks on the same day. He did it to his boss, and I gave my 2 weeks to him. And I remember we just caused this huge, huge meltdown. And the funny thing is that I guess his manager was so mad because they said something along the lines of like, we always heard him say that he was going to leave. We always heard that he wanted to leave, but we didn't actually think he'd ever do it. And so I was like, oh, very interesting how that works out. So no, we ended up leaving, and then literally 2 months after we left, they ended up having the worst summer of their entire company's history. And they ended up firing about 75 or 80% of everybody that worked in the office. So it was just one of those things where sometimes, trusting that decision is so important. But the funny thing is that I had saved up enough money where I didn't work for the rest of the summer. And the idea is that I was going to unlearn all the toxic things that I had learned at working at that company. Because when I got to the end of it, I was like, this place is way worse than I thought. And I just remember thinking to myself, I am in not a good place. So I took the whole summer off. I worked a couple jobs after. And I remember the funniest thing was, that's when the person who helped me start this channel, the person who dared me to listen to my very first song, she worked at that same place. And the craziest thing is that when, she told me to listen to a song, it would probably have been a year and a half before I even decided to even give this a shot after she asked me to. And I remember saying to myself, like, hey, should I do this then? And she's like, yeah, go for it. I was like, should I do it but as like a funny YouTuber reaction video? And we both had a laugh at that. And uh, I remember then I started the song and I was like, oh, the song's just actually really good. So I decided, because the following day, the video did pretty dang good. So I just figured, you know what, I'm just going to keep going and see how this goes. And the funny thing is that everything that I have done, all the stuff that has happened since then, has been from a place of uncertainty and an instability. But the weird thing is, I feel like that it keeps working. And, you know, I think sometimes walking through unstable grounds is the pathway that we have to take. And it's not fun. And sometimes it's fun. But it really causes you to have to really think differently about how things are done. And I feel like that, in a sense, that it took all the way up until, you know, now do I feel like that I understand why I took the path that I did. So, and seeing them talk about this kind of stuff, and I just thought to myself, you know, maybe there is a little more parallel between me and BTS than I maybe even originally thought. So, kind of an interesting thing. Anyway, this was awesome. I'm going to probably save this and watch this on days that I need to. So, anyway, I hope you all liked this as much as I did. Hopefully you all didn't think this is too long-winded. But anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, Victus.